Something we don't want to see for Renfest, though, this weekend. What's this here? What do you think?
I think that's going to stay on the Atlanta side.
I hope so. I hope it does. But, hey, got to make it up and over the Appalachian Mountains. Hey, one thing that's scarier than dead Bob, Atlanta. Woo. All right, so as we get on into the weekend, hey, we do see Sunday. Might have to watch out for a few strong storms. Temperatures actually stay above average for the next 7 to 10 days, and that takes us well through Christmas. Yeah, Santa doing a little bit of Mele Kaliki Maka, maybe delivering those presents in a Tommy Bahama instead of his usual red and white garb. Cold air coming in from the north and east, that subtropical ridge forming that storm track from the south and west up to the north and east. You can see that there, and this has all the makings of a bona fide Carolina crusher, and I really do not say that lightly. Now, I've had a lot of people, especially comment on social media, James, this is summer. Isn't this expected? Well, no, not really, because 100 degrees in general is pretty rare here in Charlotte. We've only cracked the century mark 3 times over the past decade, and then we could double that and then some just over the next 6 days ahead, folks. Please take it easy. Honestly, stay indoors as often as you can. Stay hydrated. Make sure you're checking on the elderly, your furry friends as well. It is just going to be downright brutal over the coming days. It's thanks in large part to Hurricane Umberto and a process known as the Fujiwara effect. So we all know the phrase, the song, opposites attract. Well, yeah, the weather world, well, not a big fan of Paula Abdul. Low pressure systems, that is similar systems, they attract each other, and thanks to a very strong Hurricane Umberto, which was a Category 5, by the way, over the weekend, it's going to help pull Imelda out to sea along with it.
What's happening where you are?
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. The wind, the rain, it is howling at the moment. Chief Meteorologist Nicole Madden was just talking about trees down. Here's a tree down right now on Robinwood Road as we speak in South Gastonia. We are trying to make our way to Cramerton. As you can see, cars, they are coming up on this thing. It's hard to see this road, not especially well lit. I'm worried this could definitely cause some issues. I'm a big person, by the way. I'm about 6'6". This is at least 20 to 30 foot tree across the eastbound lane of Robinwood Road as we speak. Here's the thing that's so dangerous about these storms. We have a lot of rain ahead of the wind. When that happens, it soaks up the ground. It's harder for those roots of the trees to hold on. When that happens, yeah, we get a wind gust of 30 to 40 miles per hour. That's absolutely what we're seeing right now. That's more than enough to topple these huge trees. In fact, its height begins to work against it. That center of gravity well above ground. It makes it that much easier for these trees to get toppled over. You know the old saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's exactly what we're seeing at the moment. Now, these wind gusts are kind of sporadic at times. When I just came on, I would say that was a good wind gust, about 30 miles per hour. So that's another thing. It's just that constant little push-pull of the winds changing speed, even changing direction, that can provide even more stress for these trees. 11,000 customers without power right now in Gaston County alone. That marks up about 10% of the entire county. And keep in mind, folks, we are just getting started. The worst is still yet to come as we speak. Here comes another wind gust, and wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, we start to lose some more trees, some more power lines as we speak. We're going to try to make our way over to Cramerton. Major flood stage expected out of South Fort Catawba. That is where we will be next, barring another roadblock that we'll see. For now, James Scott in South Gastonia, WCCB News Rising. Back to you.
Time to toss it over to weather-wise meteorologist James Scott.
Yeah, good morning to you, Taylor, Chris, and to you and yours. Thanks for rising alongside us on this first day of the holiday shortened work week, also known as Tuesday. It is still very cold with temperatures in the teens and 20s across the vast majority, at least, of the WCCB Charlotte viewing area. 25 right now here in the Queen City as we take a live look from our weather stem station right here on the roof in East Charlotte. Once again, we're tracking a winter storm this weekend, but it's nothing like the one we saw last weekend. We had all kinds of warm air and moisture issues, neither of which I think are going to be a problem with this system. In fact, this could be the most moisture-laden system we have seen in several months, which is great news for our drought. Not great news, though, for really severe impacts into our Saturday and our Sunday. Of course, between now and then, it's going to be another cold one today with highs in the 30s and 40s. It does get warmer into our Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Highs do approach 60 60 degrees on Thursday, probably closer to 50 on Friday. So any sort of moisture that arrives within that time frame, and there are a few rain chances, but I want to be very clear, that's going to fall as rain. We're really focusing in on Saturday and Sunday and the frigid air beyond that. Across our 22 counties, remember, we're all seeing at least some form of abnormally dry conditions or drought, severe drought in this darker orange color all along that I-85 corridor and just down to the south and east. We're all dry as well. Go figure there across the Carolinas for that matter. That's the rule around the exception across much of the lower 48. But remember, we are setting the stage for a high impact multi-day winter storm. Look how cold this air is right now moving through southern Canada. When we start to see blacks showing up on our upper level pattern, you know that is frigid. That means our color scale can't even scale up to how cold that air is. So that's going to continue to filter in over the next 24 hours or so. Although we start to see the subtropical jet here in the green, the yellow, the oranges, the warmer colors begin to rise up a little bit on our Thursday. That's going to bring the warmer air. And believe it or not, you see this ridge really start to shoot up Saturday into our Sunday. The thing is, cold air will be locked in by this point by a very powerful surface ridge, bringing in, tapping into that cold air at the surface that's just going to be sitting over central and southern Canada, the United States Northeast, and the Great Lakes of the coming region. So we have that cold air coming in from the north and east, that subtropical ridge forming that storm track from the south and west up to the north and east. You can see that there. And this has all the makings of a bona fide Carolina crusher. And I really do not say that lightly. Usually, I was just talking about it with Chris and Taylor. I hate talking about these storms 4 to 5 days out because a lot can and will change. At this point, what can and will change is what kind of precip comes down, and it pretty much only looks wintry, whether that's snow, sleet, or freezing rain. And you better hope it's snow, because if we're dealing with sleet and freezing rain, power outage issues could last for days. For days. Let me say that again. Power outage issues could last for days, for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people moving forward. Again, really not taking this lightly. As we move into our Thursday, remember, temperatures do swell near 60 degrees. This is just going to be rain coming down Thursday into our Friday. Remember, still well above freezing. But then in comes the cold air, that Arctic ridge of high pressure I was just talking about, tapping into that very cold air over the United States Northeast, the Great Lakes, southern Canada. Once that gets into place, in comes that second round of moisture, likely going to start as snow as it stands right now. Remember, at this point, we're kind of hashing out the details, especially with this sleet, freezing rain, and snow line showing up in the pink here, snow to the north in the blue. That's going to be quite marginal. It looks like setting up maybe along I-85, maybe it's as far south as I-26. We're still hashing out those details. What I can tell you, though, is there's going to be plenty of moisture and plenty of cold air. Whatever comes down in your neighborhood, it's going to be a lot, and that's going to cause some problems. Travel is likely going to be, well, just a no-go, to say the least, Saturday and Sunday. If you have any plans, whether you're going to basketball games, you have church services, honestly, either do them remotely or cancel them outright, because again, no matter what comes down, it's going to be a lot. I'd much rather see a foot of snow rather than an inch of ice. We know what kind of issues they can cause, and that's right, even a foot of snow is on the table here in the Piedmont. It's still way too early for totals and for specifics. If anyone's trying to give them to you right now, they're either lying to you or they are delusional. But what I can tell you is that this is going to be a high impact storm lasting for multiple days, picking up probably by our Saturday afternoon, lasting through Sunday, maybe clearing out by our Monday morning. We'll continue to keep you weather-wise. One more thing, Shalonda. I know we need to wrap up here. Need to talk about your 7-day forecast. Look how cold this air is coming in behind this system. I actually have a low of 10 degrees as it stands right now, Monday night into Tuesday. That factored in with millions of people without power, that is not a good combination. So that's all the more reason why you need to be prepared right now. You're getting extra batteries, you're getting flashlights, you're getting electric lamps, you are getting non-perishable food, water, firewood. You probably need an alternate source of heat because it gets downright frigid after this system. Again, we're going to keep you weather-wise. There's a lot that can and will change, but all signs are pointing towards a high-impact, multi-day winter storm moving in our direction. Stay tuned. We'll keep you weather-wise. Now it's time to take a look at traffic. Monopoly Move Over, Mattel is looking for a chief Uno player, and it's dealing out big money for the role. It says the chosen candidate will earn more than $4,000 a week for 4 weeks in New York City. The job entails challenging strangers to play the new Uno Quattro family game. Quattro means 4 in Spanish, Trish. So that makes sense.
I know that.
Did you? Well, you're an English major.
It doesn't
so
matter. I know
Spanish,
that.
Why would that
Spanish may not
help
be
if
your
you were an
forte.
English?
I don't know.
Are you going to ask me a question?
It just makes sense because it's 4 weeks, $4,000. Quattro means 4.
Where's the
letting you know.
question?
All right, well, here's the thing. It also requires a player to make social media content involving Uno products. So, Trish,
Yeah.
would you send in your application for this?
No, I'm not sending in my application. Do you
Draw
know
4.
why? I am an original Uno player.
Original,
this
OG.
Uno Quattro, I don't know anything about that. I want to put the cards on the table, and I want you to
just put the
draw
cards on the
4
table.
every time. You're drawing 4, and I'm going to skip you one time, and you're going to draw 4 again.
And just for the people at home, and Trish, Uno means 1 in Spanish. Just thought you'd know.
Okay. All right.
F-U-N, okay?
F-U-N indeed.
All about the fun.
Wait. Oh, dang it, I missed. All right, this is why I got 2.
Yeah.
Got it.
There you go.
Nailed it. That's for you. Where am I pointing? Weekend, Sunday.
You're
Yummy.
pointing towards the fun area of WCCB News.
Go over there.
All righty, man.
All right, it's been an exciting week of sports in the 704.